My name is Isis Musssenden, and I am the costume designer on Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. The essence of the art of costume design has always been connected to storytelling. Yes, we produce clothes like the production designer produces a set, but we're connected to the actors who are telling a story, and my job is to visually tell the story through the actors' clothes, to enhance the performance, and to help the actors feel what they need to feel as they're going along. It is a complete collaboration between the actor, the director, and the costume designer. And it's the most exciting part of our job. Yes, we design clothes. Yes, we produce clothes. But we are not fashion designers, we're costume designers. Our job is to tell the story.
Off the top of my head, creative process, brown leather.
I started in fashion, not because I didn't want to do costume. I went to Parsons School of Design and have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fashion Design, but only because I didn't know that you could study costume and story and theater. I just knew this was always what I wanted to do, growing up around people shooting films around us all the time in Hollywood. And I had a huge learning curve as far as film and theater went. So in just years and years and years of practicing and doing every kind of film, from like I said, $1 million film to a $200 million film, to effects, to period costume, to fantasy, some television in there, has brought me to Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. We work very closely with the director from the beginning, before the actors cast, before they come in, and then again when they're cast, working with Andrew as to what he wants from this character and what he's looking for. As a costume designer, your dream is to find a director that you can work with, that you are challenged, that you think is smart and good at what they do. And that is your dream. That is a lifelong goal, I think, as a designer. And I feel that way about Andrew.
And then interweave this in so that the whole costume and the hair kind of weaves together. And then bring this up again down here with more volume.
We would get into the characters of each of these different kind of animals, like our hags that were layers and layers of fabric with these hooded pieces and these faces that Howard did, and these big ugly feet and these hands that were all gnarly. We made jewelry out of last night's chicken bones that were dried out, and teeth and feathers and found objects. I mean, it was just a gasp. Since we shot the movie in continuity, which was fantastic for many reasons. The children began small and grew. You know, we had to change shoes and socks and dresses and remake stuff as they got older. But it also helped, I think, the entire film crew to just start at the beginning of the story, to take the journey, the way the children took the journey, through the war, into the professor's house, and into Narnia all together. We felt like we made like three different films. And you could feel the mood of the crew change each time we shifted gears into something else. And then the day we went to Narnia and opened the back of the wardrobe into our equestrian center that had been changed into a magical winter wonderland, we did that journey with those kids, and we showed up that morning and everybody was just in awe. It was the most beautiful thing we'd ever seen. Months and weeks of them wearing all these English clothes and all these skirts and woolen skirts and these tops and stuff, and as they're kind of loosening up, we started the fittings on the Narnian dresses and the Narnian tunics for the boys. And that's when we really started to see the children just bloom. They were so happy to get out of those old clothes.
I can show you. That's how excited we were about this scene today. We are dying to get me in the armor. Dying.
And Anna Popplewell, who is one of the sweetest and kind of reserved young girls, she put this dress on, and she took a big breath, and has this yards and yards of a skirt. She picked up the skirt, she started twirling around, and she just like went dancing around the room. And it was just glorious to see her like take off and see what was gonna happen. And I told Andrew the story, and Andrew blocked the scene with some of that happening, because that was what really happened. Then the third part of our movie, we called it, was when we went to the South Island to begin shooting the battle.
You have to stand still.
I'm not good at standing still.
That looks really good.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Armor up all the dwarves going into combat. It's gonna be a big day.
This battle was coming, and it was ever looming, and it was taking up tons and tons of time because there was so much work to be done. When it got to the creatures, there was Howard Berger from K&B, there was the people at Weta Workshop, there was myself and visual effects. So now we had this huge other group of people that we needed to correspond with on a daily basis as to what we were doing, what was needed, how many were needed, who was doing what. It was an enormous puzzle piece. My associate designer, Kimberly Adams, who's just brilliant, took on the battle. We had many different creatures, and we had many different species, and it was great fun because it was a menagerie of people we worked with. We had ogres that were 380 pounds, real bodies to deal with. Underneath the tents in the South Island, shooting the battle was one of the most interesting film experiences I've ever had. The people were so interesting from all these different worlds. Yeah, it's like the circus. My favorite moment of shooting this film and being on the set was when we first shot Mr. Tumnus's house. And I happened to be on the set that morning, and I come in, and I did not know that Andrew had gotten Harry, the composer, to put together a dub of Tumnus's theme, this music. Lucy's in there in my favorite costume of hers, and this favorite set of mine with Mr. Tumnus, and Andrew puts the tape on, and it was magic. Everybody's heart just soared. It's the most gorgeous music. Mr. Tumnus is playing his flute, and he's hypnotizing Lucy. And that was the moment we just went, oh my God, this movie's gonna be beautiful. I mean, it's just magical. This movie was one of the most wonderful journeys I've ever had. I grew, and I took my place as a costume designer in a way that I had never had the opportunity to do before.